Jason Miller had learned to survive on 4 hours of sleep, cold coffee, and quiet sacrifices. As a single dad, his mornings began before sunrise, packing lunches, tying shoelaces, and calming nightmares, long before he ever stepped into the glass building where he worked as a project analyst. To everyone at the office, Jason was dependable, polite, and invisible. His boss, Emma Carter, noticed everything. She noticed how Jason stayed late without complaint, how he skipped office parties, how he always declined last-minute travel. She noticed the way he spoke about his daughter with a softness he showed nowhere else. And slowly, unintentionally, her concern turned into something deeper. Emma dropped hints, small ones, offering flexible hours, asking about his weekends, complimenting his dedication in a way that lingered a second too long. Jason smiled every time, grateful but clueless. To him, Emma was just a kind boss. Nothing more. He couldn't afford to imagine anything else. Then came the Monday meeting. The boardroom was tense. Deadlines were missed, pressure was high, and Jason took responsibility for a delay caused by leaving early to pick up his sick daughter. Before he could finish explaining, Emma snapped. She slammed her hand on the table. "Do you have any idea how much you matter?" she burst out, her voice shaking. The room fell silent. Jason froze, stunned, not by the anger, but by the emotion behind it. For the first time, he saw her not as his boss, but as a woman who had been trying to reach him all along. And in that moment, everything changed. The room stayed frozen after Emma's words echoed off the glass walls. No one spoke. Jason felt every pair of eyes turned toward him, but all he could hear was his own heartbeat. Emma's face had gone pale, as if she herself hadn't planned to say any of it out loud. She cleared her throat, trying to regain control. "Meeting adjourned," she said quietly. People filed out, whispering. Jason remained seated, unsure whether to stand or disappear. When the door finally closed, it was just the two of them. "I'm sorry," Emma said, her voice softer now. "That was unprofessional." Jason shook his head. "No. I just didn't understand." And that was the truth. He had been so focused on surviving, on being a good father, on keeping his job, that he'd ignored everything else. Feelings didn't fit into his schedule. Emma sighed and leaned against the table. "I see how hard you try. You never ask for help. You never complain. And somehow, you still show up with kindness." Jason thought of his daughter, Lily, waiting at home. "I don't really have a choice," he said. "She needs me." Emma smiled sadly. "That's what makes you who you are." For the first time, Jason realized Emma's frustration wasn't about deadlines. It was about watching someone give everything to the world while never receiving anything back. Before he left, Emma added quietly, "You matter too, Jason. Don't forget that." He nodded, carrying those words home with him, unsure what they meant yet, but knowing they would change something. That night, Jason sat on the edge of Lily's bed, listening as she talked about school and her missing tooth. As he tucked her in, her small hand grabbed his sleeve. "Daddy," she said, "why do you always look tired?" The question hit harder than any meeting ever could. "I'm okay," he replied automatically. But Lily frowned. "You always take care of everyone else," she whispered. "Who takes care of you?" Jason didn't have an answer. The next day at work, something felt different. Emma kept her distance, professional and calm, but Jason noticed the effort it took. For the first time, he paid attention to her pauses, her concern, her quiet kindness that mirrored his own. During lunch, he found himself standing outside her office. "I've been thinking," he said when she looked up. "About what you said." Emma waited. "I'm not good at noticing things, especially when they're about me," he admitted. "But I don't want to ignore it anymore." She exhaled slowly, relief flickering across her face. They didn't define anything that day. No dramatic confessions. Just honesty. Just two people acknowledging something real. Over the following weeks, Emma adjusted Jason's workload. Jason learned to ask for help. And slowly, life felt less like survival and more like living. For the first time since his wife passed away, Jason allowed himself to imagine a future that wasn't lonely. Just when things began to feel hopeful, life tested him again. Lily collapsed at school one afternoon. Jason rushed to the hospital, heart pounding, old fears rushing back. Emma arrived an hour later, no questions, no hesitation, just quiet support. They sat together in the waiting room until the doctor finally came out with good news. Exhaustion washed over Jason, and before he realized it, tears followed. "I'm so tired of being strong," he whispered. Emma didn't speak. She just reached for his hand. That simple act, no fixing, no advice, meant more than anything Jason had felt in years. It reminded him that kindness doesn't always roar. Sometimes it just stays. That night, Jason understood something important. Strength wasn't doing everything alone. It was allowing connection.